Okay, think about a massive, bustling city, right? Billions of parts, all working together somehow in perfect harmony. Now, what if I told you your body isn't just one city? It's an entire empire made up of trillions of them, and each one is a single cell.
It's honestly a logistical marvel. It makes our own biggest cities look, well, simple by comparison. So how does this incredible empire of cells manage all its traffic, its resources, and its security without just completely falling apart into chaos?
Well, it turns out the answer is that every single one of your cells runs like a super-organized, highly managed city. And just like any good city, it has this unbelievably sophisticated security system that controls every single thing that comes in and every single thing that goes out.
So our story really begins at the city limits, the cell membrane, and also at the borders of all the different neighborhoods inside. And it's here that we find the frontline security force, the Border Patrol.
And listen, this is no small operation. In us humans, scientists have found a whole superfamily of 48 different types of these Border Patrol proteins. They're called ABC transporters, and they are literally everywhere.
So what exactly are they? You can think of them as molecular pumps, or maybe even better, bouncers at a club. They're embedded in the cell's membranes, and they use the cell's universal energy source, a molecule called ATP, to physically push or pull specific cargo like ions, lipids, and other crucial supplies from one side to the other.
Now, I know this looks a little complex, but the main takeaway is actually pretty simple. These transporters aren't just guarding the outer wall of the city. No, they're also the gatekeepers for all the critical buildings inside, like the mitochondria, the cell's power plants. This means they are absolutely fundamental to just about everything, from how we make bile to how we manage cholesterol.
But that, of course, leads us to a really critical question. What happens when this elegant security system breaks? What if a gate gets stuck open? Or even worse, what if it's jammed completely shut?
The results can be just devastating. We now know for a fact that mutations in at least 21 of these 48 transporter genes are the direct cause of what we call monogenic disorders. These are diseases that are caused by just a single faulty gene.
It's basically a chain reaction. It all starts with one tiny typo in the genetic blueprint. Because of that typo, the protein gate, our little bouncer, gets built all wrong. And as a result, essential cargo gets stuck outside, or maybe toxic waste builds up inside. This microscopic traffic jam causes the entire cell to malfunction, and that leads directly to disease.
And we see this in the real world with heartbreaking diseases like cystic fibrosis, where a single broken transporter leads to that thick, sticky mucus building up in the lungs. We also see it in rare liver diseases like PFIC, which can cause terrible liver damage in children. And now, researchers are even starting to link failures in these transporters to more common diseases, like Alzheimer's and coronary artery disease.
Okay, so that's the Border Patrol that manages the city's general traffic. But there's one place in the city where security is way tighter, way more complex, and way more important than anywhere else. We're going from the city walls to the high-security command center.
And that command center is the cell's nucleus. This is the vault. This is where the city keeps its most precious secret. The blueprints for absolutely everything. Your DNA. Letting just anything in here would be a total catastrophe.
So, to manage this, the nucleus has an incredibly strict passport system. Seriously, nothing gets in or out without the right papers. Any protein that needs to get inside has to carry a specific passport stamp. It's called a nuclear localization signal, or NLS. And anything that needs to leave has to have an exit visa, which is called a nuclear export signal, or NES.
And who's checking these passports? Well, that's a job for an elite security force called carioferins. These proteins are the transport receptors. Their entire job is to bind to another protein, check its NLS or NES passport, and then personally escort it through the nuclear pore, which is the only official checkpoint in or out of the nucleus. It is a brilliant system of access control.
So, we have these amazing, complex security systems. We see the terrible diseases that can happen when they fail. But the story doesn't end there, because if you can understand the system, you can learn how to fix it. We can actually learn how to hack this system for good.
The whole goal is to become, basically, molecular locksmiths.
Scientists are now trying to design what are essentially tiny little master keys. These are small molecule drugs that can go in, find one specific broken transporter gate, and either prop it open or maybe help it fold the right way, whatever it takes to restore its function.
So how does this actually happen? How do you go from an idea in a lab to a real medicine that helps people? Well, this path kind of shows the way. It all begins with identifying the exact faulty transporter that's causing the problem. Then, using some really high-tech methods, like screening millions of different chemicals, scientists can find and then design a molecule that specifically fixes that one broken part.
And this is not science fiction, it's already happening. This quote here really nails it. It highlights the incredible success of new therapies for cystic fibrosis. These drugs have totally changed the lives of patients, and they offer definitive proof that targeting and repairing these tiny cellular machines is absolutely possible.
A success story like that really opens up a thrilling new frontier in medicine. It's a huge shift in how we think, moving away from just treating symptoms to actually fixing the root cause of a problem on a molecular level.
We are really entering an era of cellular mechanics. The future isn't just going to be about managing diseases, it's going to be about repairing the broken machines themselves for a whole and hopefully growing list of human illnesses.
And that just leaves us with this one fascinating thought. For centuries, medicine has mostly worked from the outside in. But what if the next great revolution is the complete opposite? What if it's all about learning to become the chief engineers, the master mechanics for the trillions of tiny bustling cities that are working tirelessly inside every single one of us?